channel. I'm sorry if that cough was super loud. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Feminine Fancy. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. I hope you had an amazing Christmas and New Year, and some really exciting things happened to me over the break. Not the break, this isn't school, over the holiday. And I just wanted to share with you all that I am engaged. I am engaged, I am betrothed, I am fianced, however you want to say it. That is what I currently am. And I made a post on Instagram, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support and your love over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means so much to me. Like I was actually really blown away by the amount of people who said like congratulations, and who were sending us well wishes and stuff. I was so blown away. So thank you so much if you took the time to send me a message. And I promise I will do my best to get back to everyone, but there were so many, I was really shocked about that. But I will do my best to get back to everyone. But yes, on January 3rd, Kane asked me to marry him, and I said yes, and I figured it would be really fun and just like, I don't know, full circle moment to sit down and tell you guys everything. I want to talk to you about the proposal. I want to talk to you about like our future plans and my plans for the channel as well. And I also want to ask you a few questions about what you would want to see in this season of my life, because yeah, anyways, we'll get into that. But anyways, if you are new here and you've never seen my face before, hi, I'm Felicia, and this is the Feminine Fancy. And if you feel so inclined, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, and let's get to that 200,000 subscribers. Let's just try and do it. And also hit the thumbs up button on this video if you like it. Okay, so let's start with the proposal. So January 3rd was a day like any other. Kane and I go on little staycations all the time, so I really didn't think that this was like the one. I didn't think that I just didn't think it was happening at this point. And he had been kind of like throwing me off for a while intentionally, knowing that he was going to propose on this trip. And so I didn't think it was happening. So I was not expecting it. So we got to this like beachside hotel that we've stayed at before. It's like my favorite place. And the first night that we got there, what did we do? I think we just like got food and hung out and chilled a little bit. I think we walked on the beach. And then, so that was on the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, which is the day that it happened, it was just a totally normal day. Like we woke up and we were right on the ocean. Like if you guys watched my last video, I showed like the view from our balcony. We were right on the ocean, and I was, we were just like having a cozy morning and drinking tea, and like there's at the hotel you can get like croissants and stuff on the top floor. So we grabbed some croissants. We were just like chilling, just like a casual day, and it was really nice actually. It was like really, just felt very comforting. We had already decided we wanted to go on a bike ride because that's what we did the last time we were at this hotel, and we really liked that bike path. So we walked around, we rented some helmets, and then the hotel where we were staying, they have like complimentary bikes that you can take out. We took some bikes and went on a really fun bike ride, and then we came back. I was like starving because I'd only had the croissant, and so we were like, let's get some lunch. Okay, and here's where I started to piece things together a little bit, and the heat vent just went off, so now it's probably even more echoey, so I'm sorry. Here's where I started to piece things together. So we went to lunch, and at that point it was like maybe 1, and he had told me a few days before that we were going to go to dinner at this restaurant that we love at 5. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Like he said we had reservations at 5. Spoiler alert, we did not have reservations. It was a decoy. He was like, yeah, we've got reservations at 5. So we're sitting at lunch, and he's like, okay, so I want to make sure we get to our reservation on time, but I was thinking like, what if we take some pictures for, the blog and for your Instagram before we go? And I had mentioned the day before that I wanted to take some pictures. And he was like, oh, well, let's do it at sunset. Let's do it before we go out to dinner. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. Here's where I realized that something was imminent, that something was off, was because it's like normal for me to be like, hey, Kane, can you take some pictures of me for my Instagram or, for a blog post or whatever? And he's like, yeah, totally, that's fine. As we were sitting down eating lunch, he's like, okay, yeah, I want to go get on the beach at like 3:30. And I was like, 3:30. That is oddly specific. Kane has never been that specific about a time in his life, which is fine. Like, I'm not either. So he was like, yeah, I want to go to the beach at like 3:30. The minute he said 3:30, I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, 3:30 is fine. And I think I even said, like, why so specific? Like, does it matter? He's like, yeah, I just don't want to be late for our reservation. And I was like, okay. So we go back to the hotel and we like start getting ready. I'm putting on makeup. I actually snapped an Insta pic, put it on the gram, put it on stories. And as we're getting ready, his glasses break in half. So here are the two circles, the little bar band in the center just broke. And Kane has very, very poor vision. Like, he cannot see past like right here without his glasses. So he's like, at this point, kind of freaking out because he knows that we're, you know, what's about to happen and he can't see. And so I'm like, it's fine. Like, let's just go down to the lobby and ask for some super glue and some tape. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And so he's like, yeah, okay. So we're dressed, we're ready. We go down to the lobby and they have Gorilla Glue and they have like this weird double-sided tape, which like didn't really work. So he puts the Gorilla Glue on and it's not holding, it's not sticking. And he is getting more and more antsy. And I'm just like, dude, what is your problem? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just put on some more Gorilla Glue, wrap it in some black tape, and like wrap it in some of the tape and it'll be fine. And he's getting more and more antsy and he's like, no, just forget it. Like, let's just go. Don't want to miss the sunset. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So that was another kind of like hint, because he doesn't really get like that. Like, he was just a little bit more amped than normal. And I was like, something's happening. So we go onto the beach. And I feel like the minute I stepped onto the beach, I was like, oh, I think this is happening right now. And so, you know, he followed through with his plan. He was like taking photos of me by the pier, which actually came out really pretty. I'll insert some of them. And those pictures came out great. But then he was getting really fidgety and he's like looking around everywhere. And he's like, he's like being so antsy. And I'm like, what's going on? So he's like looking around, not like coy or sly at all. And so then I start looking around and he's taking pictures and he's like, let's go over here, like to this one specific spot. He's like, let's go over here. And I'm like, okay. So we go over there. At this point, he gets super, super antsy and he's taking my picture, but then he's like walking back and forth between like fidgeting with my hair and like, you know, putting my hair back and, you know, doing all this stuff. And then he goes back and he's like reaching his pocket kind of, and then like trying to put his jacket down. And then finally he's like, close your eyes. And I'm like, okay. So I close my eyes and he's like, you know, he's still in this, trying to make it seem like he's taking photos of me, you know, for no reason essentially. And he's like, this is gonna be really pretty. It's gonna be a really pretty picture. Like, trying to make it seem like he was getting like the sunset behind me, and I don't even know. I think he was trying to make it seem like he was taking a picture of like the sunset, and then like I would open my eyes and, you know, trying to like, again, throw me off. But at that point I was like, okay, what's going on? And then while my eyes were still closed, he was like, Felicia Stiles, I love you so much. Will you marry me? And then he was like, open your eyes. And there he was on one bended knee. And when I tell you, I just lost it. Like, the waterworks that came were shocking even to me. I couldn't even speak. I don't know. I was just so shocked but like happy and emotional and crying. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even say yes. So all I could do was shake my head. Yeah. And then the secret photographer was there and she took like really beautiful photos. I will link her down below, but it was great and it was so beautiful. And so then after that we had like a little photo shoot with her right on the beach, and it was so gorgeous. And yeah, it was just awesome. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So that's how the proposal happened. And the rest of the night we, what did we do? So actually we didn't have a reservation for dinner, because that was supposed to be kind of like a decoy plan to, like, I don't even know. I think his whole thing was like, okay, I'm gonna tell her we have dinner, and then I'm gonna tell her kind of like, Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, where she's like, I'm gonna put it in a box, then I'm gonna put that box in a box, and I'm gonna put it in a bigger box, and I'll mail it to him, and then I'll smash it with a hammer. That's how I imagine his mind was when he was putting this all together, because he was like, we're gonna go to dinner, and then we're gonna have a photo shoot before dinner, like, you know, kind of trying to throw me off. So we didn't actually have a dinner reservation. So at that point, which I found out right then, I was like, are we still going to dinner? Like, through tears. And he's like, no. And I was like, well, what are we gonna do for food? So we decided to just still go to that same restaurant, see if we could get in. And we did, but we decided to it's a really nice like pizza place, and the pizza is so good. But we decided to just take the pizza back to the hotel, and we sat on the day bed, which was like out on the balcony, and just listened to the waves and ate pizza. It was just so amazing. After the proposal, I called all my friends, like seeing all of their reactions, and like seeing my friends get emotional for me was really sweet. And yeah, it was just super, super fun and exciting. I struggle between like wanting to tell you guys everything and show you all the pictures, and then wanting to keep some of them like for myself as like, you know, because it's just our thing and like our story kind of. I even like had anxiety about posting about it. Like I almost didn't want to tell anyone, because I was like, I don't know, I just wanted to keep it for myself. But you know, I also wanted to share the news because we're just so excited. So that was the proposal story, and now I am fianced, and we are just so excited. I don't know if I already said this, but a lot of you thought that I was already engaged. I don't know why. I never said I was engaged. I never said I was married. We went ring shopping early last year, but I never said that there was an engagement. So I hope this clears some things up, but no, I was not engaged. We were not married. We just were I don't know, in love? I don't know, like we were not engaged or married, but now we are. So moving on, that's the proposal story. Now let's talk about the ring, the bling. So I am in love with my ring. It is a diamond that is in a rose gold setting. It's super classic, super simple, and very elegant, and exactly what I wanted. A lot of people will do certain things to make their ring appear bigger, like they'll put it in like a halo setting with a lot of little diamonds, or they'll have a center diamond and then they'll have two on the sides to kind of like, you know, I don't know. I mean, and of course everyone's style is different as well, but I just always knew that I just wanted one single diamond. Like I didn't want all the other stuff. And also my fingers are ridiculously small. They're really, really, really skinny and kind of witchy, honestly. The size ring that Kane bought is a 4.25, so 4 1/4, I guess, and it's even a little big. So I have very skinny fingers, so I couldn't really get away with having the center diamond and then the two diamonds on the side, because it just looked like too much. So yeah, I feel like it's perfect. It's beautiful, and I love it so much. I chose rose gold because most of my regular jewelry is gold. I don't really wear silver jewelry at all, so I wanted it to kind of blend in really seamlessly. And also, I just felt like the rose gold would look good with my skin tone, which it does, so I'm really happy about it, and I just love looking at it. It's really nice. It's just really stunning. He did a really good job. I feel like I got makeup on it today. I don't know how you like keep this clean and shiny. I'm gonna have to look into that, but I love it so much. Okay, so now let us jump into the natural follow-up questions when people get engaged. I'm just gonna answer all of these right here and right now. That way you'll just know like where my head is at this point, and if things change, I will let you know. But here is the future of our union. Okay, the first question people have been asking is, do you have a date? And I think that's insane. Like, how would I have a date? I literally got engaged 3 days ago. No, I don't have a date. I don't have a date. I have no idea when we'll get married. And here's the thing. My brother is also engaged, and he and his fiance are getting married in May. My sister is also engaged, and she and her fiance are getting married in August. This whole first half of the year is gonna be kind of packed with like other family obligation things, where I have to go to my brother's fiance's bachelorette party, and that's all the way in Austin. And then I have to go to my brother's wedding in May. And then after that, I have another good friend who's getting married in June. And then Kate and I are taking a really big trip in June as well. We usually go to Colorado in July. I don't know if that's gonna happen this year. My sister's getting married in August. I don't know when I'm gonna even have a chance to think this stuff through. Like I'm not really even thinking about it right now. I'm just kind of like coasting. Like, you know, I'm gonna wait. And I also don't want to upstage anyone, not that I could, but like, I don't know. I just want to give everyone their time to have their time to celebrate and be excited about what's going on in their lives without being like, okay, now it's time to plan my wedding. We're just coming off my brother's wedding and now it's time to plan mine, you know? Like, I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna be like, what did my therapist say this morning? Oh, she said this would be a good time for ideation. Just like having, you know, an opportunity to like dream and imagine and think about like the different possibilities of what our wedding could look like and when we would want to have it. You know, this is like a good time for like ideation. It's not necessarily a planning time. And I really liked that she said that because I'm like, okay, I think that's a good way to look at it. Just kind of thinking about the possibilities, not necessarily like jumping straight into planning, especially with everything that's going on. Yeah, so that's my plan. Just kind of, I'm at least gonna wait until after we get back from our trip in June. Because honestly, like there would be really no point in starting right now because every single, like it's just gonna be a lot. So again, it's not that I'm like not gonna plan, I'm just using this time to soak it in and using this time to just like envision and imagine and think about like, okay, what do we want? Like, how do we see this going down? And yeah, just kind of dream about it a little bit and maybe slowly start, you know, checking things off of the to-do list and just getting a general idea. Keeping it cool for now, hanging out, enjoying being engaged. Yeah, so that's that. The next question that I think people typically ask is like, when are you gonna start having kids? And on my photo on my community tab, a couple, like more than 2, maybe 3 or 4 people commented like, oh my gosh, are you pregnant? Like the way you're standing, you look pregnant. And I'm just like, geez Louise, people, does that, when you think about typing that, like whatever, I'm not pregnant. And also that's really a disrespectful question to ask and a disrespectful statement to say to women. You just don't, I've said this before, you just don't know what people are going through. You don't know like if they could be struggling to get pregnant, they might have had a miscarriage, like you just don't know. Like do not assume those things, you guys, please, please, please. I mean, after we are married, okay, let me not speak in the future terms. Right now, I don't know what the plan is for like children. Kate and I have had so many conversations and our hearts are really pulled towards adoption, I think, in a lot of ways, just because there are so many kids that need adoption. Kane's mom works in early childhood ed and childhood development. She's also a CASA, and so she's really familiar with sort of the foster care system and what's going on right now. And there are 400,000 kids in the foster care system right now. Like that just blows my mind. It's insane to me. And it's also so insane to me, and I'm gonna go on a tangent, but it wouldn't be my kind of video if I didn't go on a tangent. It's also so insane to me how people, especially like in 2020 and even last year, have really sort of amped up this sort of like, be a voice for the kids, be a voice for the kids, save the kids, save the kids. And like, I just don't see as many people talking about like looking into adoption or even fostering as I would expect with how much people make it seem like they care. And so I'm not saying people don't care. I'm just saying like, for me, for us, for our family, and for like how we feel about it, we are just so inclined to give a baby or a child or, you know, whoever a happy and stable home who would otherwise not have that, as opposed to like jumping to, okay, let's make our own child. If it happened, great, awesome. If it didn't just happen, I don't know that I would go to the lengths of like trying to figure out how to make it happen, if that makes sense. And maybe I'll change my mind. I probably will, honestly, let's be honest. I'm a Gemini, I change my mind every 5 seconds. As of right now, how I'm feeling, how Kane's feeling, we've talked about it so much. we just feel so convicted that adoption and like caring for the people who are already here and the kids who are already here and who otherwise would be like just cast aside and essentially thrown away by society, like that to us is more important than having our own biological child. I'm not planning on getting pregnant anytime soon, you guys. So you can speculate all you want, but that is, if that happens, I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, but who knows? You never know. But that's where our hearts and our minds are at with the whole thing right now. And I would be more than happy to bring a baby or a child or even a teenager, just anyone who like needs somewhere to go and like needs family and needs love, like that to me, that calls to me more than having my own biological child at this time. I can't wrap my mind around so many kids not having a home and no one really like caring. It's wild. So people will probably ask, will you get married here in Colorado? Probably California, because we met here, I'm from here, and so many of our favorite places are here. So definitely, more than likely, California. I have no idea what kind of wedding I want. Another question people might have is how long were we together? Did we date before we got engaged? And the answer to that is 3.5 years, or like a little like over 3 years. And honestly, like we've gone through so much in that time that has strengthened our relationship, and I think made us know be even stronger in the knowledge that like, yeah, we're supposed to do this together. I've had gotten a really nasty comment on Patreon, which was really scary actually, because I created Patreon for people who like really wanted to support and whatever, but I'd gotten a really nasty comment on Patreon. She said something to the effect of like, why are you posting, because I posted a picture of us over on Patreon, and she was like, why are you posting this? Like, no one cares about like you and your boyfriend who, you know, you've been together for 3 years and you're still not even married and whatever. And it was just super nasty. And I just want to say that like everyone's timeline is different. For some people, getting engaged after 8 months is sufficient. For some people, getting engaged after, you know, a year is what they want to do. Like everyone is different, and things work out differently for every couple. So please don't shame people. Like even if you've been together for, you know, 5 years, let's say, if it works for you and your partner, don't let anyone shame you, but just be honest with yourself about what it is that you want. Don't let people shame you. Things work out differently for every single person. And yes, like it's important to be smart in our decision making, and it's important to, you know, select good partners and people who are, you know, who have integrity and who are honest and, you know, and authentic people. But don't let anyone shame you and make you feel bad if you're like, you know, if you're not engaged, or if you guys have been together for a little while and you're not engaged or whatever. Like if that's something that you guys have talked about and you're on the same page about it, then don't let anyone make you feel any kind of way. That was just a super nasty comment. Don't be pressured into any of this, really. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the future of the channel and how I'm going to organize bridal content with regular content. And it's kind of hard because I feel like once these things happen, like I've seen a lot that channels will go from being based on something and then they get engaged or they have a child, and then it completely takes a turn into, you know, just being completely about family vlogs, or like, you know, talking about your child or talking about your marriage or, you know, the wedding and all of those things. And I think that that's fine. But for me personally, I want to continue offering the advice and the content that I was already offering and making for you guys. But I do know that you're gonna be curious about like what's going on behind the scenes with the wedding and bridal preparations and all of that stuff. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of it is going to be on Patreon, because again, maybe it's because I'm Hispanic, but I've got quite a few superstitions about like evil eyes being on me, on my relationship. Like I've got a lot of superstitions, and I would just prefer to keep some things for a smaller community, not everything. And you guys can comment down below, like, what would you be interested in seeing, you know, as far as the bridal content is concerned, and I'll see how I can balance it out, like between Patreon and the channel. But I don't really want this to turn into a channel that's about relationships, or a channel that's about, getting married or having kids or anything like that, like, of course I can talk to you about what's going on in my life, but I really want to stick with the content that I was making already because I really, really enjoy it. Like, I've been loving the videos that I've been putting out lately, and even more sort of like cottagecore content that I've been making. I love it. Like, it's so much fun for me. I said this before, my Christmas tree video and my Christmas in my cottage morning routine video are some of my favorite videos I've ever made. Like, hands down, they're just so fun. So I want to continue making content like that. I don't want to center everything around being a fiance or everything around being engaged, but I do want to find some way to balance what I was already doing with what you guys want to see. So please leave a comment down below and tell me what of the bridal preparation and process you'd like to see. I can't even believe I'm saying that. And I'll see how I can balance it out. But just for privacy and security, and because this is like a really intimate and personal time for me and for Kane, for both of us, I don't want to just put everything on YouTube for everyone to see and consume, if that makes sense. So comment down below, let me know your ideas, give me any advice on how you think I should go about it. Yeah, I plan on continuing to make level up content. I plan on continuing to make my cottagecore content and vlogs over on Patreon, and that's my plan, with some bridal stuff sprinkled in here and there. And finally, I just want to give you guys a special message. So many of you have been following me since like late 2019, early 2020, which is so crazy. And I'm so grateful and thankful to all of you for your support over these last few years. And you've seen me talk about my experiences in relationships. You've seen me talk about my heartbreaks and all these things. And so I just wanted to tell you that if you are going through a rough time, if you are, in a bad situationship, or if someone's like, whatever, treating you in a way that you don't deserve to be treated, I hope that I can be inspiration for you, that a happy, healthy relationship is possible for you, and you are totally deserving of it as well. And I know it can be really hard to see people getting engaged and to see people like having these milestone moments, but I don't want you to compare your journey to my journey, and I want you to just have faith that you can have a happy and healthy relationship. You can, you can have the desires of your heart. You just have to be honest with yourself and with the people around you. But I know it can be hard to see these, and so just know that if you're going through a difficult time, if you're in your single season, or if you're trying to figure out like where you're going next, or what's going on, I am thinking of you, I am praying for you, and I firmly believe that you will have the desires of your heart, but you just have to trust that it's gonna happen in its own perfect timing, because I personally could not have picked a better person for myself. I could not have planned a better proposal. It's just, what can happen when you live in authenticity with yourself and with people around you is amazing. So I just wanted to say that. And again, if you're in your single season and you're struggling, or you're seeing all these people get engaged or buy houses or whatever, make these milestone life changes, just know that everything happens in its own time and in its perfect timing. I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you, and I just know you're going to get the desires of your heart. I just hope that by knowing my story, by knowing the things that I went through and the heartbreaks that I experienced, that it gives you a little bit of hope, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna stop there. I hope that this video was everything you were hoping for. I was kind of nervous to film it for some reason, but I hope I answered your questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the thumbs up button, and let me know what kind of content you're excited to see, what kind of bridal content you want to see in the comments down below. And you can follow me. I now have a highlight called Bride on Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram at _thefemininefancy_. And also I'm launching, as I mentioned in my last video, my new blog's gonna be launching so soon. It looks so good. I'm so excited and proud of it. Make sure that you're signed up so that you'll get all the information about the new blog and what it's gonna look like and everything like that. So all you have to do is go to thefemininefancy.com and join the mailing list, and you'll get all that info. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. I love you guys so much. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm making this video, but I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.